Okay, so as promised, part 2. I want to start with another meditative posture though first that I forgot to show you in the last part. So this is another way of relaxing. You need to get right up against the wall with your hips and then your legs come up. Now some of you might have really tight hamstrings and this is going to be really uncomfortable for you. In which case you can use some kind of a wedge tool to lift your hips up slightly and then still allow you to be really close to the wall so that you can fully relax, because the leverage of your legs in this position holds them up so that your heels are able to rest comfortably and that you're able to completely relax. And the blood completely flows out of your legs, which is really great for any of you that are on your feet all day long, which are most Marines. Unless you're a higher ranking Marine, then you're on your butt more. But if you're on your feet all day, this is a great way of just getting that blood to flow back down. And it's a good way of resting before you go to practice too from work. So if you can do this before you go to practice, it's going to rejuvenate your body as well. So another good Zen posture there. Okay, so let's begin our series of active releasing of the hips. So the first thing I want to show you from the side, because so you can see what I'm doing. You're going to put your hips up on the block here. Oops, I need this strap. Okay, so you're going to put your hips up onto the block, and one of your legs is against, one of your feet is against the wall in an almost straight position. So very, very close to being straight. So a little bit, I don't know, looks like about 2 feet up off from the ground. And then your hands are on the strap and your elbows are relaxed on the floor. Okay? And you're not pulling back in this position like you might think to stretch your hamstrings. You're actually pushing through the wall and you're pushing through the band. And you're pushing actively against these 2 points and breathing deeply for a full minute. And what this does is it gets those muscles that I showed you on that diagram to actively release themselves. And you'll actually feel a difference. If you do this test before you begin that posture, if you do this floor test and you see kind of how much space is between your back and the floor, you're going to feel like your back is almost flat by the time you're done doing this series of stretches. So that just shows you that, those muscles in the hips also affect the low back, which some of you, I noticed when we did the last practice and we did some Olympic lifting, that was inhibiting your movement because your strength was there, but the flexibility in your back wasn't there. And so that's what I want to work on with you, is the flexibility in your back, and a lot of that has to do with tight hips, okay? Believe it or not, it all translates into that. So once again, foot against the wall, foot against the band, and you're pressing actively for an entire minute. Deep breathing with straight knees. Okay, so that's another important part, is that you want to have straight knees. Unless you're a hyperextender or you're hypermobile in your joints, you want to have straight knees for this method right here. Okay, so a minute on each. Okay, and then the next series, your leg is straight on the floor against the wall. I'm moving quite quickly through this because my video will cut me off if I take too long. So one foot is against the wall for leverage here. The other leg is in the air, and you're going to hold the the leg that you're stretching, you're going to hold with that same arm, elbow against the floor. And then you want to use some kind of a sandbag to weigh you down if you're stretching by yourself. Otherwise, you can have somebody assist you. This is the series of stretches that I do with the team before they actually go into fight when I'm there. So here, and you're going to take it slowly out to the side. Once again, I have straight knees. Okay, you want to have straight knees in this position. And you don't want to be able to touch the floor here. Your hip needs to be grounded on the opposite side, and your shoulder needs to be grounded on the opposite side. And I'm actually using the wall for leverage to ground that whole leg down as you're getting close to the floor, you need to increase the stretch by pulling your foot more towards your head. With a straight knee, remember, deep, slow breathing. Hold this for a good minute at least. Okay? Weighing that hip down. Important. So when you see me stretching somebody, I'll be weighing their hip and their shoulder down on this side as I help them stretch. And then on this same leg, you're going to take it to the other side, ground this shoulder down, bring it to the other side with a nice straight knee. This is where you'll see me pressing on the hip of the person towards that direction so that their back starts to release. Now that really can't be imitated without somebody assisting you. And so, but you can do some good, and you'll feel this stretch in the groin muscles as well, the adductor muscles. So this is another really, really good one. Once again, nice deep breaths for an entire minute. And then, so that's your active release method. Now I want to show you PNF stretches, or proprioceptive neural facilitation, where you can get the stretch reflex to let go of itself. What the stretch reflex is it's basically a protective mechanism that we have in our body that protects us from overstretching. If we move in a ballistic way, our muscle will contract automatically to try to protect it from overstretching. And so what we do with the PNF method is we get that muscle to relax because we're tricking it in a fashion. Okay? So you'll see me stretching the team this way, where I'm actually helping them stretch their hamstrings, which is one of the tightest muscles in the body that affects a lot of movement and posture. And basically, to get this method to work, you can do it on yourself as well using a belt. And so this is what I'm going to show you right now is using the belt. Is you want to press in a straight extended position. You don't want to start out in a stretched position, but almost, just where it starts to stretch. For me, that's right about here because I'm pretty flexible. But basically, where you're starting out, and then you're going to push, flexing the hamstring. You're going to push against that resistance for